So let's start with the first question that I get the most often, which is, did you really run out of gas an hour into the trip? Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been about 4 months since my cross-country trip, and I've just been absolutely blown away by the number of people who've watched it, commented, so huge thanks to people who subscribed to it as well. I thought it would be fun to go through some of the untold stories, if you will. Editing the video was incredibly difficult. I had like 10 hours of footage and I had to trim it down to something that would be interesting for both friends and family who don't ride motorcycles, as well as the YouTube motorcycle community, who do. So let's start with the first question that I get the most often, which is, did you really run out of gas an hour into the trip? And I have to tell you, yes. Sadly, I was just super excited. I'd shipped my bike out to California. I got on the bike at the San Diego Harley shop, and I was, really concerned about getting to the beach and finding a right spot to take a picture by the water. I looked at the gas gauge. I noticed that it was about half, so I figured, okay, I've got some time. I'll get gas before I get on those back roads. And then it just slipped my mind. So I did run the tank dry, but like I mentioned in the video, at least my fuel-injected 03 Road King does give you a little bit of a grace period, lets you try one more time, and that's happened to me twice. And the other thing that I don't know if it shows up on the video, but from where I'm sitting and with this full-face helmet on, I can't see the gas gauge unless I look down. The other explanation here too is the gas gauges are unreliable, and any real biker will tell you got to follow the mileage on the odometer, which I do more or less, but I've got two bikes and I sometimes forget which one is more reliable and which one's not on the mileage. So the second question I always get is about planning for the trip, or sometimes people ask me if I bought the bike out there. I did. Like I said, I did not. I shipped the bike. I found a guy on a website called uship.com, which I do recommend. I've used that website before. You tell them what you're shipping and you tell them how far it's going, and then the shippers will bid on it. It arrived the day or so before I got to San Diego. It took about 2 weeks. It was just about the time Daytona Bike Week was ending, so a lot of shippers were sending bikes back across the country. It worked out really well. The Harley shops, I guess, are used to that. It's the first time I've ever done it, but they didn't actually even charge me storage for it. It was only there for a day. A question I get about shipping the bike is, why did I choose to ship it out first and then ride it back, as opposed to riding it out and shipping it back? My main reason for doing that was that I hadn't spent as much time out on the West Coast on a bike, and I knew starting out the trip I'd be fresh and I would be, just more willing to take more time on the bike. And then as I got closer to the end of the trip, I'd feel more rushed and I'd want to get back home. So that's what I did. I shipped the bike out to where I was going to start, and I rode it back. And then other people ask me, why did I pick that route? But I picked that route. It's basically the most southern route I could go, because like I said, I was planning on doing this trip in November, and it would have been too cold, to go through any more of a northern route. How did I plan the route? I took Google and I put in San Diego to Jacksonville, Florida. I wanted to go truly coast to coast. I would just zoom in and then drag the route off of the highways until I found interesting things. And as I was talking to more people and looking at Instagram and watching other videos on YouTube, I found some cool things that I wanted to see. So I just dragged the route along the map to where I wanted to be. Oh, hotel. So a lot of people have asked me if I had the hotels planned out ahead of time, and I did. I did not camp on this trip. I was flying out there. It's a lot of extra stuff to bring. I was riding about 12 hours a day. So if I had to set up or take down a campsite every day, that would significantly add time that I wasn't on the bike. And then one of the last questions I get is, do I have any regrets, about the trip? And, honestly, not really. I had 7 days. I saw about as much as I could in those 7 days. So if I could do it again, and it's a subtle change, but I would have spent less time in Tombstone, Arizona, and more time in Bisbee. The part of Tombstone that I saw was really touristy, and if I had my kids there, they would have really liked it. and Bisbee seemed more my speed. So sure, there's some things that I wish I could have seen. I went pretty close to the White Sands National Park. I went past a some kind of aviation museum in New Mexico. Cadillac Ranch is not that far from where I was. Even more specifically, Big Bend National Park has more scenic routes than I took. You know, come to find out, after I said on the video that I'm not sure if I really got the most out of that, you know, people told me, hey, you know, you missed this route, or you missed that route. And, you know, so, hey, next time I'm crossing the country, I will hit those other sites. Which is another question people say, you know, would you do it again? You know, absolutely, I would do it again. So those are probably the biggest questions I get. Happy to answer any more of them. I really do enjoy getting the questions. Like I said, I've been blown away by how many people have responded and liked the videos and watched the videos.